Hey, thanks for joining me. I am Rachel Elise from Blue Moon Elise and Be Me Yoga, and I really appreciate you being here today. We are going to talk about going back to school. Okay, so let's just be real clear. This is obviously about little kids going to school, middle school, high school, and college students going back to school. Healthy tips that can help you integrate through this season of change very healthfully as well as helpfully. And this is also for parents, so you do not have to be a student to hear the rest. Let's be really clear, if we are the parents, our kids are not going to do it if we are not doing it. So, as many of you already know, I started singing the praises of alternative medicine, natural health care, and getting back into the rhythms of nature starting about 17 years ago when I discovered I was going through many health issues from severe arthritis in my knees, over a dozen ovarian cysts, and discovered I had a cancerous colon all before 19 years old. And so since then, over the last 17 years, have dove deep into the understandings of health and what's going on in our bodies and how we can just live more happily. So with that said, once my child was born 3.5 years ago, that also set into motion a whole nother level of understanding of what health, happiness, extreme energy could feel like in a midst of time period where I was extremely exhausted and tired with a newborn baby. So here we are going to discuss some of the things that can help you in this time of transition at this time of the year. If you are at all interested in taking this journey on a deeper level, know that you do have that option with me. I do lead a regular 10-week program that helps people implement a lot about what we're just about to say for ourselves, for our youngers, for our elders, and really for our friends. So as we move forward, as you hear some of these things, some of you may just really already get nature's rhythms or may have already dove deep into Ayurveda. If you did, or if you didn't, then do listen really closely. If this is not new to you and you've heard it before, you may just be thinking, oh, I just need to dial this in more. And some of you may have already had this super dialed in. And if you do, then I believe it's our dharma, it's our responsibility as humans to then share this with your friends, share this with your family, share this with people that are in your life. So as we move into this time of the year, we are discovering as we move from summer into fall that we're in a massive period of change, and that's not just with the going back to school part of it. It's a massive part of change because all the energy that has been expelled from the roots of the earth, putting it out to the tree trunks, into the leaves, into the flowers, etc. Everything's been going out. Right now, everything is starting to get dry and crunchy. Everything is starting to go back in. And that is essentially what's happening to us as human beings. We are starting to get drier and, on some level, crunchier. So the number one thing that you can do as you move into this season is to oil your skin. And I know this sounds maybe a little simple, maybe a little generic or even elementary to some people, but go ahead and just listen a few more minutes. That oiling our skin has everything to do with really nourishing our nervous system and also taking care of our immune system. So if our skin is dry, if our skin is not moist, if our skin is not oily, it compromises our lymph system. If our lymph system is compromised, it is compromising then our immunity. If our immunity is being compromised as well as the lymph, then we know that our intestinal tract, essentially our colons, are dry, and if that is dry, we're not assimilating, and if we're not assimilating, we're definitely not eliminating as well either. So you can see that this is more than just put oil in your skin so you can be beautiful for the season, which yes, is super important to a lot of us. We want to look good, but we also want to feel good while we're looking good. That's part of the practice as well. So as you oil your skin, you can use different oils like sesame, sunflower, or coconut. You can definitely choose them according to your dosha. If you'd like to know more about that, that is obviously what we go into in the program, but basically you can Google what's my dosha and take a simple test. And oil your skin. Take 5 minutes in the evening, take 1 minute in the morning, and make sure you have lubricated your exterior extremely well. This is a practice that I do with my son. I do this every night with him, and not every morning. It kind of varies according to the season. Definitely right now we're doing a lot more oiling, and I just put oil all over his entire body. It's become a fun practice. He looks forward to it, and I certainly look forward to it as well. So as you are oiling your body, you're going to be taking care of this supple, basically informational system. What's going on in our outer body is taking in information from the outer world and drawing it into the inner world, which is our insides of our bodies. And it doesn't just stop with our skin. Let's just move on to our nose and our ears. So these are orifices that are made to filter the outer world to the inner world. Same thing with our eyes as well. And you can simply take a little bit of that oil that you're putting all over your body, put it on your pinky, and rub the inside of your nose as well as your ears. So if you or your child is having lots of snot or dry boogers, you want to be able to have oil in there so the orifice can filter itself much more effectively. Again, as we move into fall, this is a time of massive change. It's massive change not just for going back to school, but it's massive change for our body's rhythms. There tends to be more anxiety and more stress, more insomnia that people will experience as we go into this transition. We tend to go from more outer doing to inner, so we start to become more academic, if you would like to say, more inner, more thinking bodies versus doing bodies, and that's a big shift for our bodies. So again, if you have mucus, if you have snot, if you're catching what's out there, if you've had a cold, if you've had a fever, if you've had the flu, your body is not well. We don't just catch flus and colds because it's the season and that's just what happens. You catch it because your immunity has been compromised. So what I'm offering you right now is how to not compromise your immunity. You can oil your ears. Now, I know for a lot of people this is a very new practice unless you experience Ayurveda on a much deeper level. So what you can do is simply just put some oil on your pinky and rub it in your ears. And if you would like a more serious way of taking care of your ears, you can say you put a towel on the bed, have someone help you with this, and then lay on your side and actually pour oil into your ear. I would recommend sesame oil or sunflower oil, and just let it sit there for a few minutes. Allow your ears to be closed off. We can close our nose, we can close our mouth, we can close our eyes, but we don't ever close our ears, and they're busy. They are active pretty much all the time. Allow the oil to sink in. It'll nurture the inner membranes in there as well. And then after a few minutes, just turn over and let what comes out comes out. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to cause more wax in your ears, etc., etc. But go ahead and give it a try. We do go more into that into the Healthy Habits crew, but that is a good start. So go ahead and give that one a go. Sleep. Kids need a lot of sleep. So we often start to think of like the lazy teenager getting too much sleep, but really it's just the time period in which kids are sleeping. This goes for adults as well, you guys. So this isn't just for the kids going back to school. So kids need, we know, between 10 and 12 hours of sleep. Take a look at your child. I mean, as a parent, this is our responsibility to parent. And we look at our children, we see how much sleep is our child getting. 10 to 12 hours. So rhythmically and according to Ayurveda, 10 o'clock is like the cutoff time, like lights out at 10. Of course, if you have young ones, 7, 8 o'clock. As far as for my child, 8 o'clock is definitely the preferred time. In bed, lights out, and getting a good 12 hours of sleep, rising with the sun. As children, it's the growing time. It's the time where we're really looking to nurture and add just extreme amount of nutrients and build the constitution that's going to serve our children for when they get older and they're not developing diseases, in their 20s, which unfortunately is the rate of what's going on. Okay, so tongue. So back to orifices. Scraping your tongue before you get, do anything in the morning. Roll out of bed, walk to the bathroom, look at your tongue, see what you're actually scraping off. So the state of your child's tongue is going to determine what they pretty much ate the day before. So if there's a bunch of funk on your child's tongue, perhaps the pancakes and syrup yesterday morning was not a good idea. That is basically going to show up on the tongue. The tongue should be pink to light red, and it should be clear of white funk, basically. As we get older, we even start to notice, where everyone pretty much does, whether there's striations or bumps or a cloud of white or a cloud of yellow, and this is going to distinguish exactly what's going on in your body, exactly what health issues you're having. But for a small child, you can just simply look, is it coated or not? If it's coated, your child is not assimilating what they ate the day before. And it's up to us as parents to change the menu, to discover what we're actually going to put in our children to give them the right amount of nutrients so they do sleep well and so they are excited when they wake up in the morning and there's not a lack of energy at 10 years old, etc., etc. I would recommend a stainless steel one. Like, bypass the whole cheap plastic one. A stainless steel one will cost you $8. A cheap plastic one might be $4. But you can keep that baby cleaner. They have, I think, sharper edges that are rounded. But really, just for hygiene reasons, I do recommend to get the stainless steel one. So, in this time of the year, you can also just, like if you start to get mucusy or you start to get thicker or you feel drainage, you can make for your children something that's really simple and what they're all going to love, because the base is honey. You can throw some turmeric, so you just take some honey, throw some turmeric in there, some ginger, maybe some smushed up cloves, and have a half a teaspoon of that a day. Let it be a reward. This is going to be something that's going to open up the lymph, it's going to open up the sinuses and help kill off germs. The turmeric is anti-inflammatory, so with all the inflammation that comes with this time of the year, that's going to help with that. And kids think it's a treat. My little boy, like, he loves his medicines. Is it medicine time, Mimi? Let's do our medicines. Let's do our medicines. He is a fanatic for echinacea, which most of you know is numbing to the mouth. Our echinacea comes from Dr. Schultz, so it has cayenne in it as well, and he loves it. He gets his honey with the turmeric and the cloves in there, and it's a treat. So when he does something well, he gets his medicine. The other thing that you can do with your children of any age, and get what I'm saying is that you can do it as well, is in the morning we do something we call it wake and shake. So we wake up in the morning and we start shaking, and we do some sort of mini workout routine. Often I'll throw on some music and we dance while we're brushing our teeth. Kind of. He's 3.5, so brushing his teeth is definitely like holding his head and getting in there, but we incorporate the dancing in the bathroom. We also will go out to the trampoline and we'll just jump as hard as we can for a minimum of 2 minutes. It always turns into 10. He usually wants to shake more. Now, if your kids are older than 3.5, they may not want to do all that, so just like going out to the trampoline, but throw on some loud music. Throw on their favorite loud music, whether it be rap or pop or whatever they're into. Throw on their music and move. So wake up in the morning, scrape your tongue, drink at least 1.5 pints of water minimum, and just start moving. Just start shaking. Do some sort of mini workout. The other thing that is really helpful, and I would not leave this up to chance as you move into the fall season, do take this one very seriously, is meal plan. Don't be starving at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night when you walk into the kitchen. Know for the week what you're going to eat. Now, I know this can sound overwhelming for those of you that have like never done this before, but it does start somewhere, and it is a very effective and practical thing that you can incorporate. Again, this is what we do in the Healthy Habits program. We dive deep on how this can effectively work for you. But you want to have a conversation with your family to find out what they want to eat for the week. Some of you live with a lot of people. Some of you live alone. So you may be having this conversation with just you and your little one or child. But have a conversation. Find out what people want. Allow them to make choices. Find out that you want to know that they're going to be happy for the week as well. And it's not going to be a problem every time you sit down to the dinner table. They don't want what you want, and then they end up buying some junk fast food or some frozen dinner or something. So it doesn't have to be a big deal. You can do this in the car, driving home from school. You can do this on the way to the grocery. I mean, you just want to have a few-minute conversation. And then write it down. Write it down on a sheet of paper. Write it in one of the meal planners. In fact, I'll go ahead and attach the meal planner to the email. And plan ahead. Have your grains soaking the day before. Have a rice cooker if that's going to prepare your rice in time. When you walk into the kitchen, you want dinner to be prepared in 20 minutes or less. Like 10 minutes maybe. Tops. That's how easy it's going to be. You want dinner to be light and easy to assimilate. Soups, green smoothies, green salads. If I'm spending more than 20 minutes in the kitchen in the afternoon, I know I'm doing something way too complicated, and it's going to be hard to assimilate, and we are going to be up all night long trying to digest our food. So don't leave this one up to chance. If you want your kids to sleep good at night, have them eat by 5, 6 o'clock tops. If you have no idea how you can make that happen, join me in the program so I can help you make that happen. Because if you're eating past 6 o'clock at night, you are not going to be sleeping through the night. Neither is your child, because your body is going to be trying to digest instead of detox. So if we're busy digesting all night long, we're going to wake up starting the detox routine, which is not going to be fun. That is meant to be done in the rhythm of when we are sleeping at night. So implement. Go ahead and take out the first part to this moving into fall is oil your skin. Don't leave it up to your immune system to try to have to figure out how to oil your skin just because the air is starting to be dry. Oil your orifices, nose, ears, scrape your tongue, drink at least a pint and a half. I would definitely recommend a quart in the morning. Shake and wake and shake, and definitely do meal planning. For anybody that wants to go on this 10-week journey with us over in the Healthy Habits crew, we are putting together a new crew that's going to be starting in October. I'm starting to take interviews for that. I'm interested in people that are really serious about having more energy, going deeper into their sleep. Time management. Hello, really? 20-minute dinners? We're talking time management. So you can see this is more than about your kids. This is about you. If you're doing this, it's going to affect your family. I promise. If you're into wanting to find out if this program's for you, go ahead, click the button below. We'll set up on the Time Trade account to have a short conversation to find out if this is for you. In the meantime, happy seasons changing from Rachel Elise at Blue Moon Elise and Blue Moon Be Me Yoga. Have a good one. Bye-bye.